Hello future CAs, welcome back to my channel. Your go-to place for all things relating to the CA exam. So if you are a CA foundation student looking to ace your accounting paper, then you are in for a treat today. So in this video, I'll be summarizing the key takeaways from the ICAI BOS webinar, specially tailored for accounting subject. So in this video, we'll be diving into the tips and strategies shared by the ICAI experts, the most common mistakes to avoid, and also how to structure your preparation for maximum success. So grab your notebooks and pen and hit that subscribe button. And let's get started on this game-changing journey to CA Foundation success. So first we'll be seeing some points to be kept in mind while preparing for this subject. So as you all are aware that this is a practical based paper, it is very important to do written practice. In exam you can see that most of the times the paper is lengthy. So in order to complete the paper within time in exam when you are studying itself, you have to do sufficient written practice. So in this webinar it was informed that you have to do written practice of all the illustrations from the study material, RTP, MTP and also the previous exam papers as well. Go through the section wise weightages. So in the BOS knowledge portal you can find the section wise weightages. That is, the different chapters have been grouped into different sections. So you can prioritize the chapters with the highest weightages first. However, do not do selective study. It is very important to study all the chapters. When you are studying, prepare detailed notes. You can prepare notes of different formulas, different formats used, etc. And these notes can be used for revision purposes, especially one day before your exams. And also for revision purposes, you can use the Saransh as well. So recently the ICAI had launched the Saransh, which is also available on the BOS knowledge portal. So this Saransh has chapter wise summary. So you can go through these as well during your revision period. And as mentioned earlier, it is important to practice all the illustrations and go through all the concepts from the study material. And also it is very important to do the mock test paper. While you are attempting the mock test paper, ensure you attempt it in like an exam like environment. And after you complete the paper, compare your answers with the answers given by the ICAI. And based on the analysis, you can make notes of points like where you need improvement. If you need improvement in conceptual clarity or if you need improvement in presentation of answers, you can make a note of this and accordingly you can improve your performance in the exam. And it is also very important to practice the revision test paper and past exam papers as well. Now coming to the theory portion. So sometimes it was noticed that in the past exams, some of the students ignored the theory part. So it is very important to go through the theory as well. So for all the chapters, ensure you study the theory part as well. Because questions can be asked from anywhere. The next point discussed was how to utilize the 15 minutes reading time in the exam. So as you all are aware, for this accounting subject, since it is descriptive, you will get the question papers 15 minutes in advance. So in this webinar, the BOS experts also shared how you can effectively utilize this 15 minutes reading time. So first read the entire question paper carefully. So sometimes some of the questions will be similar to those in the study material, but some adjustments might be different. So it is very important to read the questions carefully. So as you all are aware, the first question is compulsory. Then out of the remaining 5 questions, you will have to attempt the 4 questions. So in this 15 minutes reading time, after reading the question paper carefully, next you will be deciding as to which one question you will not attempt out of the remaining 5 questions. So once you have decided which questions you will not be attempting, the remaining questions you will have to attempt. So you will have to decide in which order you will attempt the questions. So it is best to start with the questions you know the best. So whichever question you think you know the best answer, you can start writing those questions first. Since this will create a positive impact on the examiner, and it will also build momentum to complete the rest of the paper within time. Now some points to keep in mind while writing the answers. So presenting the answers in the answer sheet is very important. So let's see how you can efficiently and effectively present the answers. So sometimes you can see that some of the questions have different subparts, that is A, B and C. So it is very important to write all the parts of one question at one place itself. Suppose you are answering question 1 A, B and C, and you know the answer for question 1 A and B, but you do not know the answer for C. So the best thing you do is you can leave some space for that part and carry on writing the other questions. And once you have time and once you remember the answer, you can come back and write this. But it is very important to write all the answers, like all the subparts of one question at one place itself. And whenever you are writing the answer, first the main solution should come and then the working note should be there. So suppose they have asked you to prepare this bank reconciliation statement. So first you will be presenting the bank reconciliation statement, and then if there are any working notes to support your answers, those working notes you will present. So in this case, ideally how you will do is, you will be leaving one page to make the BRS, and then you will go and start preparing the working notes, and then you will come and prepare the main BRS. It is very important to write legibly in the exam. So speed and handwriting both are very important. And also there is stepwise marking. So attempt full 100 marks paper. So sometimes it's possible that for any question you are not sure if you know the full answer or no. Or you might not be sure if the balance sheet would tally. In those cases also attempt those questions, because for each step you will get mark. Next point is read the questions carefully and answer as per the requirement in the question. So whatever the question asks for, or write only that. It is not required that you should write pages together. You should answer depending on the what is asked in the question and the marks allotted to that question. And whenever you are writing anything, do not overwrite. Like if you have done any mistake, do not overwrite the same figure. So suppose instead of 80 you have written 50, then just do not overwrite it. If anything you have written wrong, it is better to cut that entire figure and write the figure again. Because sometimes it might happen that if you overwrite a figure, in case you are copying it to the next page, then there might be error in that. It is very important to write the working notes and assumptions very clearly in your answers. So if there are any working note, or if you are making any assumptions while answering any question, it is very important to write those very clearly in your answers. Next, few students had some query relating to round off. So you can round off the answers either to 2 or 3 decimal points. You can write the answers in your own language. So it's not necessary that you entirely copy paste whatever is there in the study material. You can write it in your own language. However, the meaning should be same, and if there are any technical terms, those terms can be used in your answers. And it is very important to write clear and concise answers. So in case there is any theory question, to answer those theory question, you can support it with flowcharts as well. So it is not compulsory. In case you wish, you can support it. Or else for theory, you can write it in the form of paragraphs or bullet point also. And most of the times there will be questions relating to preparation of final accounts. So for these questions, it is very important that in the question paper you read all the adjustments carefully and ensure that all of these adjustments are accounted for while you prepare the answer. So it is very important to thoroughly go through the question paper. And also in case of questions relating to bills of exchange, in the question you have to very carefully see whether you will have to prepare the accounts in the books of drawer or drawing, because sometimes it was noticed that the students have made error in this part. So sometimes in the question paper it was asked to make the books of account in the books of the drawing, but the students had got confused and they had prepared in the books of drawer. So it is very important to go through the question very carefully. Read the question minutely and then only answer it. Now coming to the question paper pattern. So totally there will be 6 questions of 20 marks each. Of course there will be subparts as well. So the paper will be for 120 marks. In that the first question is compulsory. And out of the remaining 5 you can answer any 4 questions. So usually it will be like first question will have 3 subparts A, B and C. In that part A will be true or false questions. This will be for 12 marks totally. And for true or false question, it is important to mention the reasoning as well. So in the question itself, you have to check whether they are asking only to write true or false, or they are asking mention whether the statement is true or false along with reasoning. So most of the cases they would ask for reasoning as well. So it is very important to write the reasoning in this case. And then question 1 part B, you will have one theory question of 4 marks. And then question 1 part C, you will have one practical question of 4 marks. So this question number 1 is the compulsory question. And then you will notice that in the 6th question, usually the 6th question will be about redemption, forfeiture and reissue. So in most of the times the exam paper pattern was like this, like first question and 6th question. So usually this pattern was followed. Next in this webinar, some light was thrown on the commonly committed errors by students in the past exam. So this is very, very important. I request you all to note down this so that you do not commit these errors in the exam. The first error noticed was lack of assumptions. So one of the primary reasons students lose marks is failing to mention the assumptions they have made while solving a problem. So for instance, if the question is incomplete and if you need some data which is required to solve the question but it is not present in the question, in this case you will have to make assumptions. So only when there is ambiguity in the question, only that time you have to make assumption. So if you have made any assumption, it is very important to write those assumptions clearly. Because without this, the examiners cannot gauge your thought process, leading to unnecessary mark deduction. So before you begin solving the question, identify any ambiguity in the question and write a brief note explaining your assumptions. Next commonly committed error was misunderstanding the question. Most of the times if there is any twist in the question, it will usually confuse the students. This confusion reflects in incomplete or incorrect solution. For example, the question might be similar to the question in the study material, but only one different type of adjustment may be required. So it is very important to look at the questions minutely. So take a moment to thoroughly read the question, highlight the key details and clarify the requirements before you start answering the question. Next error was irrelevant detail and time management. So another mistake was adding irrelevant information in small and straightforward questions. This wastes the time of the students and it can also make the answers unnecessarily lengthy. So it is very important to write clear and concise answers depending on the marks allotted to the question. So ensure that you match your effort with the marks. If a question is for 2 or 3 marks, it is not required that you write for pages together. Ensure you focus on precision and accuracy. Incomplete understanding of the concepts. So ICI has observed that many students lack an in-depth understanding of core accounting concepts. This leads to errors in fundamental areas like journal entries, ledgers, or preparation of final accounts. So it is very, very important to master the basic concepts before diving into advanced topics. So ensure you regularly practice the basic concept to ensure clarity. Calculation and presentation errors. So one of the common issue noticed is errors in carrying forward amounts between pages. So when you are carrying forward the amount from one page to another page, ensure that you carry forward the correct amount. Because such errors can distort the entire computation and result in loss of marks. Additionally, untidy or unclear presentation makes it difficult for the examiner to follow your solution. So ensure you write neatly and legibly. Double check your calculation and use proper formatting. And also it is better to highlight the final answer to make them stand out from the others. Missing working notes. Lastly, many students skip working notes, assuming the examiner will find out from the calculations. Working notes are very essential and carry marks in most of the problems. So always include detailed working notes for your solution. They demonstrate your understanding and ensure you get partial marks even if the final answer is incorrect. So as mentioned earlier, there is stepwise marking. So it is very important to write the working note as well, as this also carries marks. Now some other points that were addressed in this webinar was regarding calculators. So battery operated calculator up to 6 functions, 12 digits and 2 memories is allowed in the exam. And it was also suggested that you can use the same calculator that you used while studying. So when you are practicing during your holidays, whatever calculator you used, you can take the same to the exam as well. And scientific calculators are not allowed. And when you get your hall ticket, behind the hall ticket, you'll have some instructions. So it is very important to go through those instructions carefully. And that wraps up the key insights from the ICI BOS webinar on success at CA exams for accounting subject. Remember, the right preparation, smart strategies and consistent efforts are your ultimate tools for success. So guys, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video to show your support. And also subscribe to the channel for more CA exam tips, strategies and motivation. And also share this video with your fellow CA aspirants who could use this as a boost for their accounting exam preparation. Also, let me know in the comments below that what was your biggest takeaway from this webinar. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive and remember, you have what it takes to clear the CA Foundation exams. Thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you all in the next video.